Good morning. IUXX equals Nasdaq 100 index. There's 100 stocks in this index, and what is really tied to this index is also Apple Computer because of the weighting. We all know. What I am going to do is I'm going to talk about how overbought the Nasdaq 100 is. And how long can we remain within the bull cycle overbought zone? It can last a long time. Never fight a tape. Know how to get in between the middle of that public transaction and get your profits and get out. And that's what it's all about. So it's a daily movement, number one. And what we're going to take a look at here is what the actual cycle was during this topping pattern. And remember, it's the Nasdaq 100, and basically the leaders in the Nasdaq 100 are Apple, Google, we have different stocks in that Nasdaq 100 that help create these moves. Here's that upper end of that teeny line, and basically what I am going to do is go in and hit 2-4, and I'm going to make sure that the delta movements are correct, okay? Because this is where we closed on the Nasdaq 100 right here. So as I set this up, what I am going to say is this is the key focus of where this chop shop $1.27 a delta, half delta movement, because it's a daily chart, but I'm looking at the 3-minute to see if it'll populate correctly. On the 3-minute we had the high closing bar. So when I look at the 3-minute closing bar on the Nasdaq 100, that's the primary focus, is that it did close on the high now. But when you get over here, you're going to find a different story. And in this story, once again, is that daily. And the daily is telling me one thing, that each one of these lines are $10.19. I'm going to price it out in the brain up here so I can see what's going to happen Monday before Monday gets here. So it does all the pricing for me. Each one of these lines is a half delta dollar movement of $10.19 per line. The last part of the Nasdaq 100 looks like the Nasdaq comp. 3 days down, we rally up, big reversal. I'm going to get the support and resistance levels in the market maker platform. It does all the calculation for you. Okay, this is not a standard platform that the public ever gets its hands on because it's only made for market makers. That's a big difference in the transaction retail public models that they have out there. So basically what we're going to take a look at on 12-4, we got a half bar at 2328.46. That's going to be the near term support 1. Support level 2 will be at 2312.152. The real key part of the whole 5-day move is where the runaway pre-market futures gap started, and we went up 1 half delta, 3 a delta and a half. Remember, right to the line, this bar is going to be the important one on the Nasdaq 100. That's this index where my pointer is, up 15.13 handles. Okay, so this level is already pre-calculated. That's the half daily bar action. And the bulls have got a lot going because when you take a look at the closing price above the previous half-day bars, that's the closing half-bar ratio that is calculated, also equals strength. Okay, so there's a lot of strength up here in the overbought area because it wouldn't be this overbought unless it did now. The thing about it, MMTs, that half-bar ratio starts to decline, then weakness would be starting in at the top. And you have to go a negative, you got to diminish, contract on these half daily up bars. If you take a look here, this bar was on 2-1 that I'm talking about. This bar here was 25.68 handles above the 2-3 bar, which was down here, and 25 plus 25.68 ratio above the other half bar means a lot of strength, MMTs, and your MMT platform doesn't lie. All right, let's get down to the brain, and we know that each line, half delta lines, are coming in at 14.72. I'm sorry, the brain was still calculating. So 14.72 handles per line for Monday morning. So let's get over in the delta. Let's get over in the brain. Let's get into this market maker beast. 23.48 is a half delta up. A full delta, 23.58, is a major hurdle. A delta and a half at 23.68 and two full deltas up for Monday is 23.78. On the flip side of a half delta down is 23.28. Full delta down is 23.17 at support 2, and support 3 at 23 at 1 1/2 deltas up in either direction is 23.07. But two full deltas is what we're using. 22.97 is your third support level in this brain for Monday's prices only. It changes every day automatically in here. And two full deltas up on the pendulum for a breakout, two full up, 23.78. But we know we got to get past a half delta first. And a half delta movement in the brain for Monday's 14.72 per line. So what I want MMTs to understand is support 1 as far as the half bar goes, 23.28. This one here is 23.12. The major part of the 4-day breakout is 23.13. We would be looking to see if the bull remains in control on the Nasdaq 100, as the key stocks in the Nasdaq 100 are going to be acting really well. If they do, we can stay overbought, because we are. And so what? If it's willing to give more to the upside, we take it like we always do, just like we did here in the last 5 days. And we took the 3-day reversal, and we took the buy, and we took the reversal. It doesn't matter to us. What does matter is that you understand it, new MMTs. And senior MMTs, of course, have been around for years. Of course, they understand it. So that's the support levels that I gave you out using the daily half bar action. And that's what it is on the Nasdaq 100. And where the weakness is, if I close below half the bar ratio and I start to contract and give up these huge 25.68 above the half bar on 2-4, 52 points above the half bar starting out on 2-1 of 2011 at 12 o'clock a.m., you were up 52 points above those previous bars. That's, hey, that is strength. However, remember that strength will be dependent on these reversals to that support level and that bounce. And just, I showed you the upper end of the overbought zones that we can go to. That means if we're going to go in that direction, MMTs on the Nasdaq 100, Google would be acting well, Apple's going to be acting well. Some of the major other leaders in that Nasdaq 100 will push it higher. Maybe it always doesn't have to be tech. We'll be looking at other sectors that were underperforming in 2010 that would help us push up to these levels right here. If we're going to make it up two full deltas, it's going to take some underperforming sectors that didn't perform, and that the bull would be looking to chase those underperforming assets, which would be big buys that would help push that market higher. Two deltas up, two deltas down. This platform doesn't lie. Okay, and everything that MMTs are taught is all market maker platform. Relative strength, relative weakness, directional movement, it's all priced. That's what we're looking at. Support, resistance, half bars, and half deltas in the brain at 14.72 handles per line on Monday.